What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Everyone's favorite game mode, Grand Party, is back again this season, and we're back with the Gear 5 strats, of course. However, I've shifted things a little bit. So normally I would run like a Psy-free Spirit team, but due to the rulings, which you can see on your screen right now on the right-hand side, Psy-type, they really don't want you to use those types of characters, as they receive very, very hefty debuffs, and I would steer clear of running mono Psy teams. And honestly, I'm going to shift the team a little bit as well, because I am running some Psy Rumble Rare recruits on the teams, and I'm probably going to take those off because they just don't really provide that much value when they're just nerfed that badly. So Gear 5 himself is going to be nerfed by quite a fair margin, but, you know, as long as you chuck him on a free Spirit focused team, I think that will be okay. Honestly, if they really wanted people to just stop using these types of teams, nerfing free Spirit is actually better, because, you know, the Psy team will usually run mostly free Spirits, and then free Spirits are free Spirits. So if they wanted to go down that route, I think free Spirit is the one that they probably should have hit, but hitting Psy characters is definitely annoying as well. I'm not going to lie about that. But look, it is day one. You should be able to find pretty easy opponents. Getting the 3 wins on day 1 is pretty straightforward, and, you know, even day 2 is pretty much straightforward as well. Post day 2, though, is when things get a little bit more dicey, but we'll talk more about the team composition and what I've been finding so far in this season once we get to the next clip. So I'll leave you guys with this as we pick up the first dub of the season, actually up against a Gear 5 leader. Just wanted to see how things could actually go against an opposing Gear 5. We got pretty good luck on our end, and we'll pick things up once we get to the next clip. So moving on to our second match of the video of day number 1, we're actually up finding not really a friend, but finding an opponent that is using a pretty good team built setup, but they changed their leader to Kuma, and that's one thing that I will show off at the end of the video as well. Once you have completed your daily grand parties, you need to go into your team and change your leader to something that does not have a GP burst skill. This is going to enable it so other people will have a much easier time in Grand Party, and yes, look, you're not really forced or obligated to do anything like that, but by doing it, it makes things easier for everyone, because if everyone pulls their weight, then it's going to make things easier for everyone to get the top reward, so make sure to go ahead and do that. You do see the team that I am using here, though. This is going to be relatively similar to the team that I've been using over the past couple of seasons, using like a powerhouse team with health cuts, and it just works, you know, it just gets the job done. Obviously, best case scenario is up against relatively weak teams or slow teams that don't have ways to debuff powerhouse, or teams that don't have as much special CT as what I do. That makes things a lot easier for us, as health cuts with Akainu, like up against strength teams, it's amazing because Akainu does so much damage to them that's going to charge your skill very quickly. V1 Whitebeard for the 50% health cut against the opponents obviously charges very quickly. Having Pell is really nice, but by using Pell on that powerhouse team, it means that we can't use Pell on our Dex focus team, which hurts a little bit, but we are going to just shift things around, use Dalton on the front line. I actually did end up pulling Bullet from last month's Rumble banner, and I got him from the discount, so I ended up, you know, leveling him up, using him on the Dex focus team, and if he ends up coming in off the bench, you know, it is what it is. Perhaps he'll provide some really good stuff for us here. But anyways, we pretty much get a pretty clean victory here. You know, the opponent doesn't have a GP skill, so I thought it'd be... I was going to wait and probably save the GP skill because I knew I could get the guaranteed win anyway on the third game, but seeing how close I was to getting the victory here, I just opted to use the burst skill to secure the victory here against the opponent. Moving on to the third game of day number 1 of season whatever number it is now. We're up against, again, you know, pretty well-built teams, but with a different GP leader, which is exactly what we want. It's just not having to worry about opposing Gear 5 burst is what we want to do here. However, you see this team, and it's essentially a mirror match, where we have the same front line against each other, and I was just, you know, I thought, well, I knew for sure that I had a really good matchup in the other 2 games, so I'm like, you know what, let's just go ahead and run it. My opponent doesn't have a burst skill, I don't need to worry about it, so let's just run the mirror match and just see what happens. And it's kind of fascinating, you know, we got kind of lucky, or I don't know if it's luck or if it's placements or whatever it is, but my Nami Karina was able to launch before my opponent's Nami Karina, which put me ahead in the game very, very early, and despite the fact that my opponent does actually come back and do a pretty good amount of damage to us, we're still able to come back because Nami Karina, once she gets rolling and your opponent just can't use their skills, they just end up charging their skill again, because Sanji, when he launches, that charges our skills as well. Like, Nami Karina just are able to snowball, prevent the enemy from launching key specials, and that puts us further and further ahead, and we can pick up a pretty easy victory here, which is great. And then we move on, and we're able to steamroll through to get another victory here. So yeah, very easy on day 1, as we said. You know, when you're able to easily locate opposing teams with non-Gear 5 leads, it does make things easier for you. So once again, I want to reiterate, once you have completed your matches for the day, I would advise you guys to go ahead and shift your GP lead to something else that is non-Gear 5 focused, so it makes it easier for everyone to get the job done. Because a lot of people complain, you know, Grand Party is one of the most hated, if not the most hated game mode in One Piece Treasure Cruise, due to a lot of RNG factors. Like, we know Pyrumble is already an RNG focused game mode, and then you have other RNG factors in the later days of the seasons of Grand Party. It can just make things really annoying, so let's make it easier for everyone. Change your GP leader, it's going to make things a little bit easier for everyone. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.